Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Khemia. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's on itch.io for free. Or if you want to give them money so that they can not really make this game, but a game similar to this, basically in Terra, then, same universe, then, give them monies on their Patreon. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we got pretty sick due to, not really seasickness, space sickness in a way, and yeah. Also, we were introduced to Ahem, the, I think that's his name, the AI, and we put on a, stoic face. Stoic, is that the word? Basically a face, building up a wall, when we talked to Nefru, which kind of ticked him off, and now we're in a bad mood. But now we're talking to Brunus. Anyways, come and stop at the foot of what I assume is Brunus's bed, while the Wolverine follows shortly after. One sec. He stoops to catch his breath. Phew, if the eggs are bad, I just get a script from the palace doctor. Also, I kind of did this before, but my reading was so bad, even compared to this, that I was like, I kind of want to redo it. And reset my face. My slightly strained breathing is dwarfed by the huffing and panting of the Wolverine as he leans heavily against the crate. I don't like him very much, because not being able to feel pain is kind of scary to me, but like I said, it ain't bad. Bruna sits on the crate, his sizable rear covering most of it. Nah, while Pat helps a bit with that, it's mostly mental shit where it really does wonders for me. Keeps me sane, I think. Oh, how so? I try not to seem too interested. Even though we are not on Adastra, the idea of a psychoactive drug like this is frightening. Well, I guess it kind of makes everything make a little more sense. I guess it slows stuff down, so I can think through it properly. That sounds rather nice. And what I like most about it is that it makes emotions feel more meaningful, I guess. I don't know, I never had to explain it before. It just feels good. You can tell by my heart-shaped throat right there. I raise a brow. Doesn't it get in the way of your work? I know he smokes the pipe almost constantly, so while I can comprehend using it for leisure, but important work on behalf of the parents? Well, that's the thing. I feel things better. It's easier to empathize, and that's important for diplomacy. Shoot, I suddenly got a cough. I think wanting to inquire more about emotions and diplomacy, but I'm also unsure if I should be discussing such matters with Brunus. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm spared the decision as a soulless drone floats into the cabin this time, extending a small black capsule about the size of my thumb. Brunus's eyes dispassionately. Sorry. I swear I can read. Before plucking the capsule rather aggressively from the drone. Thanks. This will last me a solid half hour. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Brunus uses a flicking motion with his thumb to open up the tiny capsule. You shouldn't let personal shit get in the way, but it's important to empathize with the side you're negotiating with. I watch him pack the strange pipe contraption for a while, the Wolverine handling the flaky green concoction carefully, so as not to spill any of it. Does it help with, distracting thoughts? I can't stop myself from asking. I have, for the most part, been able to keep myself in check for the better part of 2 years. But the past half hour has left me feeling as if it's all about to fall apart. I realized then how desperate I am for some kind of solution, a fix to this dysfunctional brain of mine. I suppose my approach isn't subtle. However, Brunius leans back, eyes me closely, his pipe held in one paw. It might. It's different for everyone, but... well, that's definitely true from what I remember. Ooh. Oh, wow. Sorry. I just had an herb from, curry. The extra spicy kind. But I know people that use it to focus. You doing okay, by the way? Definitely. As you know, it's very illegal to possess such substances on Dastra, so I'm simply curious about this part of Khemian culture. Brunius continues to study me, and I try to keep my paws from fidgeting by clasping them together. Well, Pap is just the Khemian strain of Chronoma, which is native to Omofra. Kinda funny that's banned on Dastra, when you guys borrowed so much from the cats. Haha. Brunius winks at me to lighten the jab, even though I'm too anxious at the idea of this plant to work myself up over it. Anyway, if you're really interested, I can take you to an Omofren dispensary. I think that's what it's called? Dispensary. The cats really know their shit when it comes to anything plant related, obviously. They got a bunch of stuff that might be better for you. Ah, well, I don't think I would. Brunius can clearly see that I'm interested, which only convinces me to back out of this odd, reckless attempt to fix myself. While I know that much of the education I received on the use of recreational drugs was simply state propaganda, I still feel deeply uneasy about it. Using a drug patch over a mental deficiency like mine simply feels unwise. A few years ago, I asked my doctor for an anti-anxiety script, only for him to tell me they only prescribe sedatives to females. Even now, my cheeks burn at the memory. Just as I'm about to head over to my side of the room, however, Brunius sticks his pipe out towards me. Want a puff? I know that it's not a wolf thing, but it'd be rude of me not to offer. I stared at the pipe for a moment, my curiosity rekindled. Don't do it, man. You know all those drugs about the egg and people being deflated? They're all true. Actual, like, anti-drug commercials in America. Let me just bite my finger for a sec. I had a hangnail. Yeah, make sure my face rig is alright. Yeah, alright enough. Oop. Besides, might help you with your issues, if you got any, of course. Not saying you do. I stand unmoving for a moment, knowing that the longer I do so, the more obvious my pup-like apprehension will become. So I make my decision and reach for the pipe nonchalantly. Well, my purpose is to understand the Khemian experience, so I suppose I should. I hold the pipe and realize I'm not exactly sure how I should proceed. Oh, well, alright, just take a pull on it. Into your mouth first, then inhale that, and hold it for a few seconds. I mean, I guess you can put air between your mouth and your lungs. I don't know. I just can't think of pulling air into your mouth and then into your lungs. Like, I would think it'd just be one motion, right? Brunius clearly didn't expect me to accept, and I feel some satisfaction at his reaction. I bring the pipe to my lips, trying not to let it visibly tremble. I suck on the opening, hearing a soft hiss from the pipe, then a gentle warmth filling my mouth. As I take the pipe away from my muzzle, A long curl of white vapor follows it. Yeah, now just breathe it slow. In slow. As Brunus talks, I suck in the breath through my mouth and immediately choke, cough as the white smoke blasts out of my muzzle. Whoa, you took way too much, man. You're only supposed to sip it, not chug it. Brunus leans back and then forward to take the pipe from my paw, as I doubled over to continue to cough. For a moment, I'm worried I'm about to suffocate, because each time I take a breath, it hitches in my chest and comes back out in more coughs. But then the next breath comes easier, and so does the next. Brunus pats my back with a most awkward way before sticking the pipe into his own mouth. Guess you've never smoked anything before, then, eh? I shake my head, too busy catching my breath to be able to tell him that smoking anything, even illegal herbs, is legal on Dastra. I sit down on the other crate, taking a deep breaths and do my best not to fall into another coughing fit. Well, probably best to leave it at that for now. Wait a few minutes and see how you feel. I nod. Only now am I aware of the smell I associated with Brunus coating my mouth and the back of my throat. The flavor is rather sweet and not too terribly unpleasant. Still, experience of my throat and lungs burning like that did just now leaves me unsure I'd ever want to try it again. Brunus leans back, watching me carefully, as if worried I might keel over. So, what do wolves do for fun in a place where everything's legal? I rub my chest, leaning back, so I can breathe easier. Meanwhile, Brunus continues to smoke his pipe, seemingly unaffected by the warm, irritating vapors sitting in his chest. Well, we have alcohol. Saying this reminds me that after learning from my doctor that sedatives are a womanly medication, that I should instead go buy some cheap drink in the market. It certainly felt more manly, boldly drinking an entire tankard of toxic and tasting ale while friends cheered around me. And it did help, at least until I began blacking out from drinking too much, and that frightened me away from it. Kinda wish that made me frightened away from it. I want to kick that habit sometime. Probably for the best. Brunus makes a face. Bleh, not a fan of the stuff. Makes me sick and gives me a headache. I don't enjoy it much either, these days. I mainly partook to better match the mood of my friends on our nights off. This was particularly true, not the main reason. It also hasn't been the same since. Nothing has been the same since. Why do I keep telling myself that? Before and after. I'm a different person now. That Skippo died that day. Oh, I get it. And it tastes like shit. Sure, acquired taste and all, but it all tastes the same to me, just different shades of shit. I feel that only now the conversations begin to feel natural between Brunus and I, like a conversation between friends. It is unfortunate that I am unable to respond, because I am dead. I died. Yeah, my brain is an egg and it's smashed. And also my brain is all the pots and pans and stuff. And now, what is now? I feel an odd tingling through my body, along with a tickling sensation in my thighs and groin. A sensation similar to the one I felt when I was almost murdered, and suddenly my heart begins to pound. Then I look back up to see Brunus staring back at me. I don't know why he's here, and suddenly very little makes sense. I don't know what's happening, but I'm able to sense that something is very strange at the moment. No, something is very wrong at the moment. At the moment, or is it forever? Skip? I I jerk my head to look at him, trying not to appear as confused and disoriented as I feel. You feeling it? You alright? I watch the pipe bob up and down as he talks around it. I remember that in another time, or another dimension, I was on a ship in the warp drive, headed to Khemia. I had just taken a small, but intensely hot and harsh mouthful of vaporized pap into my lungs. It was only for a moment, no more than a second, before I coughed it back out. I grip onto the cool metal edges of the crate, trying to grab myself, to hold on to something, so that I don't drift off into nothing. I try to remind myself of what is happening. This is Papywei. How strange that my cognitive state is so warped, yet I can still think in such painfully clear way. It is nothing like alcohol. Suddenly, I wish I'd listened to all those warnings I'd been given on Adastra. How some people were never the same after using certain substances, driven to insanity forever. I try to remember if Pap was one of them, but a rush of fear begins to overwhelm me. I look at Brunus to calmly and politely inquire for assistance, though I'm not sure how I can be assisted. I need... Brunus's expression is hard to understand, as context continues to escape my grasp. I am at least able to understand that his eyes are narrowed, almost looking suspicious, or even malicious. Did he purposely give me something harmful? He seems perfectly fine as he smokes the pipe himself, as if space and time are not breaking down for him. And yet, I feel as if I'm mentally decomposing. My frequent nightmares are dissolving into an amalgamation and suddenly became fully realized. Despite this, I try to keep my expression stoic as a vague, past self version of me reminds myself not to jeopardize the mission. Or is this the future, or I have already disappeared into the timeless, spaceless orgy of hellish agony? Orgy? What'd you need? Bruno's voice is oddly deep and resonant as I shift backwards, unable to remember what I needed. He reaches out to me, and I grab at his paw, like it's a small flotation device in a vast sea. Don't bother trying to swim, little wolf. Your parents have left you to drown forever. A voice I've only heard in my dreams whispers directly into my ear. It's a real voice, not one that comes from my head or imagination. It's a rustling of dead leaves, rattling out of the throat of something ancient and evil. I open and lurch backward, and suddenly feel the sensation of falling. I must have died. As the only explanation for this, I am dead, and this is forever. The parents must be evil if this is what they planned. Shit. Bruce's big, Harley voice cries out, and I am at least comforted by the fact that he is here with me. His exclamation is paired with a jolt of pain that shoots from my head down to my neck. I lay on the forest path, having fallen from the branches above. I had prepared to jump down and surprise my mother. Instead, I had fallen and landed on my back. It was the worst pain I ever experienced. But through the pain, I watched Mother rush to my aid. She held me as I wailed, stroking my head. Ah. Suddenly, I'm back in this hellish metal room. Right now, all I want is to be back home. Shit. Send it right fucking now, Am. I want to be young and free from the prison of my mind, my mind has become since the riots. I want to be a pup, being held by my mother, knowing that something is there to help me whenever I fall, someone. And now I'm trapped, completely out of my element, and there's no one to help me. I just curl up and sob, submitting myself to whatever this is, to whatever existence has become. I don't fight the feeling of rough paws around me, picking me up and sitting me down on something soft. I look and see that I'm sitting on a bed with a big Wolverine in front of me. Hey, don't worry, kid. This'll help. Lift up your tongue for me, so I don't have to. Please? Simply tired at this point, I do as I'm told, feeling something light and dry being set under my tongue. Okay, now you can close it and, just let it sit there. Once again, I do as I'm told. The initial rush of a disorientation has faded, and I feel that I'm being attached back to reality, at best, with a delicate thread. The tightness in my chest eases, and the feeling of grief and dread lessen. My breathing evens out as a warm glow replaces the emptiness in my chest. Alright. You're good now, right? I listen to the deep, hypnotic voice, riding the smooth, melodic tones that I never noticed before. His expression is full of guilt and worry that I might feel as if I should be the one helping him. My thoughts are still scattered in every direction, though, so I find it difficult to respond. Come on, Skip. You're scaring the shit out of me right now. Something heavy pats my cheek, then shakes my shoulder. I'm gonna get Nefru, so you can, help you out, okay? But I need to leave just for a bit to find him, alright? Alright, be right back. Just stay there like that. I simply watch as the Wolverine backs away from me, his paws outstretched, as if holding my figure together with his paws. Like I'm a delicate vase, about to tip over, or vase. Again, his demeanor makes me feel as if he is the one that should be taken care of, but the sedative leaves me content with simply watching. Then I see him run for probably the first time ever, before he disappears out the doorway, and the heavy thuds of his footsteps fades away into the distance. With Brunus gone, I focus on the sounds around me, appreciating their complexities, likely resulting from even more complex Khemian machinery. I know that what just happened was a horrible, even traumatic event, but right now, I don't want to think of it. For the first time in a long while, I feel calm, clear-headed, even under the effects of PAP. I know it's artificial, but it's such a relief that I only want to relish it. I even smirk a bit at the sensation I'm feeling right now, at the ridiculousness of it all. I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to Nefru. First, I'd like to ask him why the hell he was so angry with me. A childish part of me would even like to blame him for this state I found myself in. As I wait for Nefru, though whose presence I long for, even if I'd rather not see him see me like this, a new sound joins the cacophony of ship noises. Well, maybe not a noise from the ship. Seems out of the ordinary, especially compared to the other sounds, so I focus on it. I realize it's coming from behind me, from the wall my bed is pushed up against. It's odd, almost like it's separate from everything else I'm hearing, in a way that is similar to Ahem. Could it be a type of interference picked up by my lingua? I wouldn't be surprised, considering the Khemians use it to broadcast their AI. I feel I should bring this up with Amicus, that we should first give consent before our linguas are accessed. Choice. A whisper of leaves. I'm unsure if what I just heard is real or not, so I crawl on the bed to the wall and press my ear against it, closing my eyes. The parents threw all to the sea without choice. What? I whisper back, fascinated and slightly apprehensive. Does Pap make one hear voices? I hope so, because the alternatives is frightening. Now you tread water, putting off the inevitable. I grip the wall tightly, feeling a prick of fear through the warmth of sedation. How long do you think you will last? Suddenly, The imagery comes to mind in a way that is most unnatural. I see myself in profile, pressing against a wall, while beyond, I see the shape of something dark and emaciated. It mirrors my position, its face to the wall, as it whispers right into my ear. "You are drowning, Skip." That icy fear climbs at my chest, up my neck, and I start to feel as if I can't breathe. Everyone drowns in the end. And the end is forever. Skip? I think that might be a good time to call it because, now Nefru's here, and it's a new scene. So, end of this Let's Play. So, please comment, cause I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, always. If you like my YouTube and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that grow. And please remember to spend your ammo to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, go to their itch or their Patreon. And until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix of Khemia. Khemia, yeah. So thanks and see ya.